have your wits about you, really. This could happen if you are just walking unaccompanied on the street or whether there's a group of you. So just make sure that you keep anything valuable hidden as much as possible until you're in a location that is relatively safe, or just make sure that you just keep these valuable items at home. And I am also aware that the camera work is a little bit dodgy, so just ignore that. Hi guys, my name is Natalie, aka DJ NB, aka Scatly 2.0. This video is off the cuff, it's unscripted. Usually I like to take my time and know exactly what I'm going to be saying by creating scripts before I record any videos. But since this incident had occurred 2.5 days ago or 3 days ago now, I thought I would record this as quickly as possible because unfortunately on the 1st November, on Friday evening in London, after a concert that I went to by Waterloo, I unfortunately was mugged for my smartphone on the streets of London. So there was a lot of things that I had to do in terms of mitigating any risks of my identity being used. I don't really fancy a case of identity fraud being used against me, and also just making sure that I had secured the phone itself, and just making sure that I had filed a report to smartphone theft on the streets of London, where pedestrians on the streets are having their property stolen from them when they're just minding their own business. And this is exactly what happened to me. So I had left Oxford Circus station. I was walking towards Marble Arch. I was 2 minutes away from the bus stop to leave London, and there was a medium-built man. He was on an e-bike. He was wearing a mask and decided to approach me from behind and snatch my smartphone from my hand and then cycled off. I unfortunately couldn't keep up when I sprinted after him, yelling and telling the other pedestrians nearby that he had stolen my phone. So what I did when he did cycle off, unfortunately, was see if there was any way that I would be able to track where my phone is. So I went into the Marriott Hotel to connect onto their secure Wi-Fi and then be able to trace where my phone was taken. So I could see on the GPS and on the map that this offender was in a Piccadilly Circus. So instantly, especially when he declined the calls which were made via the Find My Device app, I decided to block it and secure the phone remotely to my advantage to make sure that none of my data was stolen, none of the information that was used for work purposes or information that friends or acquaintances have provided me, or any banking information, any documents or any photos were used in any way without my permission. The best thing to do really is to act as quickly as you can, which has worked in my favour. So it took me about an hour and a half or possibly 2 hours before I was able to borrow another phone and then file a report to the police. However, I haven't really been able to give some further information in order for the case to be updated or for CCTV surveillance footage to be provided to the police in order for them to complete or to continue their investigation. Something that I would be able to state firsthand that it is a real problem happening on the streets of London. And I happen to be not in a secluded area. This was on a main road on Oxford Street near Marble Arch, where there were other pedestrians around. And I didn't think it was that late on in the evening. I didn't think this was something that, you know, someone would be so blasé about, because they just took the phone as if it was something that they would do, you know, as if it was a hobby, as if it was a joke. In a couple of reports, one was released in September and then another one last month, it shows that data about mobile phone crime is being driven by the rise of robberies and thefts in London capital, with 33% of all robberies last year involving a phone being stolen. And this is equating to more than 11,800 offences. And an estimated 78,000 people had their smartphones or their bags taken from them on the street, with police intelligence suggesting that this is being driven by increased demand of second-hand smartphone sales, both in the UK as well as overseas. It seems like as if this is something which can, you know, it's it's obviously premeditated, but then, you know, it's not difficult to do. You would be able to do it if you had no moral compass, if that was something that wouldn't, you know, bother you, because there is a monetary incentive. Not only would they be able to exploit the fact that a lot of people use a lot of banking apps, and they'll be able to access funds directly by using someone else's stolen handset, but they would be able to resell the device on the secondhand market and gain some sort of profit that way. So it is being driven by criminal demand, but also it's a lucrative industry. This case happens to constitute as, you know, some of the statistics which are going to be used in police reporting. So I have got in contact with the local MP for Westminster, which is Rachel Blake. I also have tagged Sadiq Khan's Instagram accounts, both of them, on my Instagram stories to make him aware of this. I had also tagged the Metropolitan Police Instagram account on my stories yesterday morning, and they responded straight away via Instagram Messenger. So this is being looked into. But all I can say, especially with Christmas and with New Year's approaching, now that it's the beginning of November, you know, there's going to be a lot of international traveling, especially a lot of tourists going to London, a lot of shoppers who are obviously buying a lot of gifts, as well as party goers going to clubs. All I can say is just be hyper vigilant and just make sure that you don't end up in a situation like I did, where you've got your property taken from you. Do just be aware of your surroundings and just have your wits about you, really. That's all I would be able to advise. Make sure that you keep anything valuable hidden as much as possible until you're in a location that is relatively safe, or just make sure that you just keep these valuable items at home, because you know that's going to be the safest place to keep it if your home is obviously secure. Okay, so I will try to upload as frequently as possible, and thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. See you later, guys.